to the SEC Unfiltered platform here. I'm your host, Dave Shumate from Mach 10 Sports, and here we are, another ceiling floor. The number 4 seed coming out of the tough East region, the Auburn Tigers, your SEC tournament champion Auburn Tigers. Let's go right to it, guys. Showing on the screen here, right here, you can see the 4 Auburn matchup against the 13 seed Yale Bulldogs here. So a lot of people are kind of picking Danny Wolf and their team to go get Auburn here. Outside of the 8-9, you got the A&M Nebraska matchup, you got the Mississippi State Michigan State matchup. I mean, those are the upsets. Those are low hanging fruit. This would probably be my true matchup of who could potentially be on big upset alert. Some people may say Alabama, Charleston, but we'll get into that later. I think this is it. I'm not going to pick Yale to win this game, but Auburn could be Auburn. Let's call a spade here. I think Auburn kind of got the short end of the stick in their seeding. I mean, they got the top 4 seeds in this East region are all conference tournament champions, with UConn winning the Big East, Iowa State winning the Big 12. You got Illinois winning the Big 10 tournament, and obviously Auburn winning the SEC tournament. So a tough draw here for Auburn. It is what it is. Tough draw. They're in Spokane. We'd have to go play potentially UConn in Boston in the Garden, which would be essentially a UConn home game. But let's get to it. Ceiling for Auburn. I think they get past Yale. Then another ceiling would be getting past San Diego State there. I remember San Diego State team that went to the Final Four, lost in the national championship game to UConn last year. Then getting to the Sweet 16, like I mentioned, they'd be heading to Boston, most likely playing UConn, unless FAU or Northwestern upset the Huskies early, but I don't expect that. A lot of people think UConn has an easier path than what they do. I mean, I think this is the hardest region for sure. If I'm UConn, I'm upset, if I'm being honest with you. I know this is an SEC channel, but if I'm UConn, I'm upset here. I mean, I really am here. I would be a little up. If I'm Coach Hurley, I'm a little upset about this draw here, man. He's like, man, we're the number 1 overall seed, and we got these guys on fire. And again, sometimes these teams who play well in the conference tournament, like Illinois, screams out a little bit in this region. They come in a little fat and happy, not a chip on the shoulder. I think Bruce Pearl's a master motivator, so I think his team will have a chip on the shoulder, because a lot of people are picking them to lose to Yale, worst case scenario. I don't see that. That's the most likely SEC early first-round loss. But again, let's get back to the ceiling here. They would have to be getting past UConn, getting to the Elite 8, facing Iowa State. I mean, Auburn's ceiling is Final Four. Let's call it what it is. I think if there was an SEC team built to beat UConn out of the 8 that are in the NCAA tournament, let me repeat myself. If there was an SEC team built to beat UConn out of the 8, it's Auburn. It's Auburn, in my opinion. It really is. It's the Auburn Tigers getting to the Final Four. I think it's Auburn's ceiling, which would be a phenomenal season. Playing probably the best basketball of anybody outside of UConn. So it's interesting they put these matchups together. Sense of humor, they threw San Diego State. Could be a rematch of the national championship here if San Diego State were to get past UAB and Auburn. And that brings us to the Auburn Tiger floor here. Again, the floor, I mean, probably first-round exit to Yale. I don't know if that's going to happen. I mean, I think Coach Wolf and then Danny Wolf, head coach at Yale, and do a really good job playing efficient, true Ivy League style of play. Efficiency. If you're going to turn the ball over, give them a lot of extra opportunities, they're going to take advantage of it. So it'll come down to Auburn's guard play in this game, I think. I think some people are out there saying Auburn's guards are less athletic than Yale. I don't believe that, but I don't think there's a major difference. Again, I haven't always been high on the Auburn guard play, whether it's Aiden Holloway, obviously Katie Johnson, then Trey Donaldson. How well are they playing? I like Andy Kennedy and the boys. Don't think they get it done against San Diego State. But again, I think San Diego State, another team that could knock Auburn out in the second round. Jaden Ledee, big post guy, 6'9", 6'10", all Mountain West guy. Gave Alabama hell last year in the Sweet 16. But I think Auburn's floor, realistically, probably losing in the first round. I don't think that would be happening, but that's their floor. So Auburn's got a big gap between their ceiling and floor to me. But I think a lot of that's because of their draw. It's not really Auburn, it's their draw. Kind of like how I feel a little bit about Kentucky. I did that ceiling floor. So I like Kentucky's draw. Thought they were a little overseeded. I think Auburn, on the other hand, were probably a little underseeded. Could have pushed to a 3 seed. It just goes to show you the NCAA tournament committee. If you're locked in as a 3, 4, 5, even 6 seed, then your conference tournament means nothing. I mean, Auburn beat 3 NCAA tournament teams this past weekend. But if you're a bubble team like A&M or anyone else out there, even outside the SEC, you can go make waves in your conference tournament. Again, the NCAA committee, just proved it doesn't matter what you do in your conference tournament. You're pretty locked into your seed if you're already in the tournament heading into conference tournament weekend. But again, ceiling for the Auburn Tigers, in my opinion, Final Four. Again, I think Auburn's the most capable team out of the 8 teams in the SEC to go beat UConn. Again, you can look at it 2 different ways. Auburn can be upset about their draw, And I know Bruce Pearl's using that as motivation, master motivator, BP. If I'm UConn and Coach Hurley and them, I'm bothered by that. I don't want to see Auburn in the Sweet 16. Not saying they couldn't beat them. It'll be a legit home game for UConn in Boston. It will. Short trip over. But again, I think Auburn's ceiling, Final Four, getting to Phoenix. Floor, they were not played good. If guards were not to play good against a well-coached team and Coach Wolf's Yale Bulldogs, I could see him losing in the first round. I'm not picking that, but I think that is the floor. Again, I appreciate you joining us on this segment. We're doing it for all 8 SEC teams, ceiling floor. If you like the content, not just college basketball, again, going to be a crazy week. We're going to be pumping out March Madness content. If you like our content here at SEC Unfiltered, give us a follow, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you do not miss any of this fantastic SEC content. Again, it's 24/7, 365 SEC baseball kicking off this past weekend. Obviously, March Madness, spring football. Missouri just completed their spring game. But again, I am your host, Dave Shumate. Hope you enjoyed this content. Hope you have a fantastic day.